Hello Animorphs fans and welcome back to the Animorphs Reviews YouTube channel. It's a new year and we've already had problems regarding schedule. I was going to do a live stream last week, but I forgot my webcam at work because I'm a complete divvy. And then this week I decided, okay, I'll do an episode with Raptor. And after I got home from work, after deliberately leaving my webcam at work, he unfortunately had to cancel for very understandable reasons. But it also meant that I hadn't my webcam, so I couldn't do a live stream. And I couldn't do Raptor, so I'm going to have to do another podcast, pre-recorded one, which wasn't my plan, and it won't be my plan going forward, but I thought, I still want to fucking do it. And we're going to look at Poparena, who is a very well-known Animorphs reviewer, and we're going to look at one of my least favourite books, but somebody's favourite, I think.
One of my favourite books.
Pebble's in the background and she'll be judging me, which means I won't get the phone call forfeit.
So we have to figure out another way for you to drink.
Well, yeah, you have a think about that while we're watching. But I'm drinking Green King IPA. Remember, we're drinking in fingers, so 1 finger, 2 finger, 3 finger. The forfeits are modern political issues, 2 fingers, character traits, 1 finger, TV show criticism, 4 fingers, 90s references, 3 fingers, movie talk, 2 fingers, author mention, 1 finger, something wrong, 2 fingers, naughty talk, 2 fingers, podcast name, 1 finger, and any time there's a cinnamon bun,
You have to drink?
down your drink, down your drink. Why you can't do that?
Why not?
You can't. We've got to think of a different forfeit. Because that's just cruel. That's cruel. She's trying to call me even though she's in the same room as me. I'm not going to count that. You're going to have to think of something more inventive than that. So yeah, we're going to watch the Andalite Chronicles. It's a 5-parter. We'll see how far we get into it. If we start fighting halfway through, then we might have to bring an early end to it.
It's one of my favourites. It adds so much story.
I might have to unleash madness. You realise that? Unleash the madness. Anyway, let's... hopefully the audio is all right. Because Pebble's here as well, I'm having to do it without headphones, so it's going to come out the speakers. Hopefully it's not going to interfere too much with my audio. But anyway, let's crack on. Let's go.
The home of a domed ship is a circular area about 1/3 of a mile across. It is filled with grass, trees, ground rushes, and flowers. There is a lake in the middle and a stream that runs around circumference. It's as much like home as it can be. You'd almost think you were running across any well-kept area on the home world. But when you look up, you see that you are in space, protected only by a clear plastic bubble, a dome. You know, out of all the things you could base alien technology off of, the Pop-O-Matic is not very high on my list.
It's been so long since I've seen one of these.
The music reminds me of like one of those old school documentaries.
I remember this. This brings me back to the old days of YouTube. I mentioned that earlier. The good old days of YouTube. The music sounds like a band called Mr. So-and-So.
You know more than 3 bands.
Of course I do. Does that count as an author mention? No, it doesn't, because a mention is...
1997 was the Animorphs' big year. The series went from an every other month schedule into a monthly series. It was the introduction of Megamorphs, but most importantly, it connected with its target audience and became a smashing success both critically and financially. It was also, in my opinion, the best all-around written year of Animorphs, introducing Visor 1, the Chi, and the Elemist with a level of craft that was uncommon in the later Ghost-written years. And the year would end with 2 of the biggest game-changing books in the series, number 13 The Change and the Andalite Chronicles. At this point in the series, the audience has only been given a fraction of the story, thrown into the middle of a war that has already been waging in the depths of space for some decades. And we're only getting a fraction of the story since our only perspective is that of 6 scared teenagers whose main goal is to avoid the enemy. All signs of the history and scope of the war were small and subtle, resulting in a lot of reader speculation and, naturally, a lot of reader fan fiction. The Andalite Chronicles were something of a godsend for those speculating fans, myself included. Imagine if you tried to do a puzzle, but were only allowed to take 3 pieces out of the box every couple of weeks. Then suddenly, BAM! Here's 80 more pieces for you. You still couldn't finish the puzzle, but finally...
I wouldn't say that there's that much lore we found out in the Andalite Chronicles.
It was very exciting, the first read. It really was. I liked it a lot.
But what did we actually find out about the lore? We found out where Alfangor came from.
Found
That's
out a lot
obvious.
about the ship, too.
Well, the dome ship?
Yeah, a decent amount.
What, just like the interior of the average dome ship?
Yeah, that was neat.
Taxons? Found out a bit about the Taxons?
Yeah, unfortunately.
What do you mean, unfortunately?
It's really sad. I feel bad for the Taxons. They can't help it. They're just constantly hungry.
A bit like me.
Yeah, like you. They're evil bastards, but at the same time, they can't help it.
A bit like me,
Yeah,
according to
kinda
some
like
people.
when I get really hungry and I need some food, like some chocolate or something, I feel like a Taxon.
We can all be somewhat voracious at times, isn't that right, my
Yes.
dear?
you can start to make out the image you've been constructing. Releasing these prequel books in the middle of the series was a good move, too. If they had released them after the main series had ended, as most franchises are wont to do, it just wouldn't have worked so well. This series would have ended, and the time for speculation and fanfiction would be over. Besides, would the Andalite Chronicles be as good the first time reading it if you already knew the fate of Arbron, already knew what the Time Matrix was, already knew Elfangor's lineage? Also, unlike the Megamorph...
No, I don't agree with that. If you took the Animorphs Chronicles out, and you had the Arbron bit at the end, he'd be this weird, mysterious, who the hell is this Andalite turned Taxon figure?
Yeah.
And then
And
if
you'd
you explore
wonder.
that afterwards, I don't think it lessens the impact of it. If anything, it makes it even more mysterious and intriguing.
Very sad.
Nah, he deserved it.
The Chronicles books didn't have to worry about not messing up the main series continuity. They all took place before number 1 The Invasion, after all. However, I still recommend reading all the books in order of their release for full impact. On the subject of release, this book was actually released as 3 smaller books that would later be combined into the much more common single edition. However, this has the unfortunate side effect of having things introduced and described to us multiple times. You know how each Animorphs book begins with the whole, I can't tell you my last name or where I live, brouhaha?
Did you just say every book?
Yeah, because that's not true.
That's something wrong.
Yeah.
So that's
something
2
wrong.
fingers. Drink!
Don't you have to drink every time they show cinnamon buns?
Cinnamon bun, yeah.
Because they did in the beginning in that shop, and you didn't drink.
When? Right, we're at
The
3
be-
minutes 43
the
now.
beginning of the whole video.
3:43.
The dome of a dome ship is
I'll
a
drink
circular
these 2
area
fingers.
about 1/3 of a mile across. It is filled with grass, trees, ground rushes, and flowers. There is a lake in the middle and a stream that runs around circumference. It's as much like home as it can be.
Where? Is it
You'd
in the
almost
little
think you were
intro
running
bit?
across
Yeah.
any... You know, out of all the...
Just trust me, my dear, it was there.
I'm not sure if I want to count that.
You missed it.
Oh, if I missed it, it didn't happen.
Well, your audience is now going to know, and they're going to call you out for your next video.
Well, they can call me out all they want, Medipleb. He always calls me out.
Medipleb, call him out, because there were cinnamon buns in
No,
a tray.
don't listen to her. She's the devil
brouhaha.
incarnate.
Yeah, imagine going through that 3 times in the same book. Blech. One last thing before we begin with the book proper. It's big. The Chronicles are the biggest books in the series. For a
accidentally stopped
visual
recording
example,
for a second there.
here's a regular Animorphs book. Here's a Megamorphs. And here's the Andalite Chronicles. See? Huge. Oh, and for effect,
Not that big.
here's the complete Calvin and Hobbes. Since there's a lot
my
of stuff
point
to
exactly.
talk about here, both in terms of quantity and context, this is going to be a much longer opinionated book guide than usual. A mega review, if you will. So let's crack into this sucker. Before the Animorphs, there was Elfangor. Our book opens with a scene from number 1 The Invasion, with War Prince Alfangor Cyraniel Shamtul bleeding to death in the dirt of the abandoned construction site while Yeerk ships come down. He mentally connects with his ship's computer and begins recording his final thoughts, his Hyrek Delist.
That's the one.
What follows is more or less Alfangor's life flashing before his eyes. We've known very little about Alfangor before this point, but the Andalite had become something of a great myth for both the characters and the readers. He was a giant.
That's not right, is it?
The Alamist? He was a...
No, Alfangor.
Oh.
You just said, oh, let's double check that.
Very little about Alfangor before this point, but the Andalite had become something of a great myth for both...
No, Alfangor was never a myth.
It wasn't a myth, he was real.
Yeah. Poparena. Come on, mate. I know it's 10 years ago, but come on. That's shame. He's not a myth.
both the characters and the readers. He was a giant, a legend of a faraway war.
A legend's a better
So what
word
better way
for
to
it.
begin the legend than with a young Elfangor doing badly at a tail-blading fighting lesson?
Yeah, anyway, that was something on That's Two
epic.
Fingers. Drink!
This would be like a John F. Kennedy biopic starting with Kennedy failing an algebra test. It's 21 years before the events of number 1 The Invasion, and Elfangor is a cadet, an Aerith, serving on the dome ship Star Sword, because swords are obviously invented by a species that grows scimitars out of their asses and rarely use their arms for anything.
That's a fair point.
The war between the Yeerks and the Andalites are already well underway, the Yeerks having already conquered the Hork-Bajir and the Taxons. Elfangor is very green and very eager to join the fight, truly believing that he can make a difference. I, Elfangor, was going to become a great warrior, a prince, a hero. Remember this point for later. The only other Aerith on the ship is named Arbron, who's not as high-strung and is more flippant
What's
than
that you showed
Elfangor.
me?
They don't get along very well.
What is this?
That was in the video. They look like cinnamon buns.
No, that's not cinnamon buns.
They looked like cinnamon buns.
She has been... You aren't drinking, so...
I'm not drinking. I'm trying to get him to drink more.
Your forfeit is to give me a compliment.
I like your eyes.
Is that it? That's the best you can come up with. Well, what do you lot think?
Don't be cringy, my dear.
I'm not being cringe, I'm being cool.
You're cringy.
I'm hip and trendy and down with the kids.
But suddenly find themselves working together when they are both suddenly called to the battle bridge. This leaves them utterly starstruck. The battle bridge? Only the best of the best get to be on the battle bridge. Well, it turns out that a Skritnaw ship has just left some insignificant blue and green planet, and since the Skritnaw have
phone.
traded with the Yeerks, it's Andalite policy to pull them over and check their cargo. It's basically the Andalite equivalent of being a racist traffic cop that only pulls over Mexicans, and it's simple enough for the rookies to break their teeth on. So Fangor and Arbron pile into an older, less functional Andalite fighter, the Volkswagen bus to the rest of the fleet's Hummers, and give chase.
What's wrong with Volkswagen?
Well, Elfangor at the helm and Arbron at the weapons. However, it turns out that there are actually 2 Skritnaw ships leaving the planet, and while the Andalites manage to disable the engines of one of them, the other one manages to escape. So Elfangor and Arbron dock with the Skritnaw ship and come aboard. The Skritnaw are a scavenger species with 2 forms. The giant cockroach-like Skrits that later go through metamorphosis and becomes the grey, lanky...
Did you like the Skritnaw?
They reminded me very much of like, the aliens that people on Earth say they see all the time.
What about the aliens from
No.
South Park?
I don't remember those.
No? They were referenced many times in the Animorphs series, I'll have you know.
Were they?
Yes.
Yes?
At the South Park show. The South Park show. That's what it was called.
Is that what they called it?
Yep. The South Park show.
The humanoids known as
I'm
Nob.
a bit cringe, really,
The joke
aren't I?
here is that the
Yeah.
Skritnaw are the
Sorry,
prototypical
everyone.
men from Mars
Yeah.
that fuel the Roswell UFO cults.
Yes.
The Skritnaw go down to planets, steal some technology, artifacts, and living specimens, and sell them off to third-rate science organizations, militaries, and zoos. As far as threats go, their danger level is never beyond mild pest, proven when Elfangor and Arbron
A bit like
board the
Americans.
ship.
You take that. You take that back.
No.
You take it
And
back.
find that the Skritnaw are
Only if you give me a really nice compliment. Too late.
Being held by laser gunpoint by a teenage girl named Lauren. For someone who had just been abducted and has had her worldview shattered by being introduced to multiple alien races, she sure is handling it like a trooper, even making sarcastic comments.
Yeah, I thought that. I didn't like that.
No.
No, I didn't like Lauren in this book. She came across as very unrealistic.
Yeah, I agreed.
Lauren comes off as a kind of a mix between Rachel and Marco, with Rachel's outward confidence and Marco's loud mouth. There's a second human on board, an unconscious young man. The Andalites write the Skritna a traffic ticket and bring the humans on board their ship. The boy wakes up, and we come to discover that it's none other than a young Chapman. I'm going to have a lot to say about Chapman in this review.
I hope he says
Right
what
now,
I
let's
think.
talk about a little something I like to call Star Wars Extended Universism.
Hey.
You see, when Star Wars began to expand its universe outside of the films through paperback novels and occasionally comic books, video games, playing card descriptions, and tabletop role-playing games, it was quickly realized that there's only so much mileage you can get out of the main characters. So many of the novels turned towards more and more obscure members of the supporting cast, and somehow managed to create epic stories for all of them. It's gotten to the point where just about every single thing that has ever been in a frame of a Star Wars film is just as important as the Imperial Rebel Alliance conflict
where he's going
as
with
Luke
this.
Skywalker, Han Solo, and Darth Vader. There are no small roles in the Star Wars Extended Universe. This snail motherfucker who appeared about 4 seconds in the background of the cantina scene in Episode 4 New Hope? Yeah, turns out he's Mamu Naden, some garden priest thing who saved the agriculture on his planet from Imperial rule, but unfortunately got exiled to Tatooine as a result, where he managed to trick stormtroopers into believing
genuine?
that them not fighting the droids was the fault.
That's weird.
They're
That's
milking it for everything they can get.
Not as much as Disney's currently milking it.
No.
Disney's fucking on those Star Wars tits.
Don't be common, my dear. Don't be common, my dear.
I am common, unfortunately, my dear.
Just. Alright, carry on.
Fault of a disgraced Imperial captain. Why can't he just be a space drunk? Why isn't there a Star Wars character that just doesn't matter?
I could be a space drunk.
That, my friends, is Star Wars Extended Universe.
Hey!
Thankfully,
Space
the
drinking.
series doesn't delve into this kind of thing that often. But this is a pretty big face-palming example of it.
Yeah. I
Why
agree.
can't Chapman just be a minor character that isn't all that important? The only reason we see so much of him is because the Animorphs go to his school. There's no reason for this insignificant character to suddenly become a main player in the decades-long war between the Andalites and the Yeerks.
Yeah, I didn't like that. Why do you think they did that?
Because they wanted, I don't know, to add some importance to his character that doesn't matter?
I think it's because they think that most people who read this are kids in high school who hate their vice principal. So they're just using it as a way to...
Maybe,
And, like, the kids will be like, oh, vice principal, I hate him. I want to see more of him so I can hate him more.
to be fair, though, Michael Grant could have just been really high and not felt like inventing another character.
Nah,
Come on.
they've got, like, alien races flying out of every fucking wall. Like,
Only-
Graffin's children
They
and
don't
stuff like that.
really mention much about them, though, so that's, you know.
That's one of the things I like about Animals, though, the amount of aliens. It's weird. You got always many different alien races, but then there's only like 3 humans that are ever relevant to
Michael
anything.
Grant went to the publishers, and they wouldn't publish his book with the aliens he had. So he's like, how about a blue horse? With a scorpion tail. 4 eyes and no mouth. And they're like, alright, we haven't seen that before. Go with it.
I've heard the story slightly differently.
I heard that the aliens they were proposing were too common and have been done before.
Yeah, I remember that, but I didn't think it... I thought it was Catherine who did it. Oh, I don't know.
I'm pretty sure it was Grant said that.
There's
Yeah.
nothing he does in this book that couldn't be done by a completely new character. Or, hell, with just some minor plot tweaks, you could have it just be Lauren and end up with the same results.
Yep.
And really, this is the least of our Chapman problems. But we'll get to those when we get to those.
Right.
Buffalo.
Oh yeah, the amount of stuff that happened to Chapman just pissed me off. I actually got genuinely angry in some of my reviews because of what they did with Chapman.
Look forward to that in one of your Animorph videos coming up.
It's already been up.
Analyzing Chapman?
Oh no, not the analysis of Chapman.
That's what I'm talking about.
I looked at the camera like that because it's a new series on the channel. Watch it, bastards! Especially you, O'Turlu. 20 star jumps. Jumping jacks, as you call it. Why are they called jumping jacks?
Because we like to invent random things. Just get on with
Just
it.
like to be different, don't you Americans?
Yes.
Elfanger and Arbron bring Lauren and Chapman to the dome ship, where they play babysitter duty while the rest of the Andalites decide what to do with them. While the humans seem to be able to understand the Andalites' way of life relatively okay, Elfanger and Arbron just cannot grasp the concept of clothing, walking on two legs, and eating with mouths. You know, the same trying to comprehend human stuff that 20% of every Axe narrated book consists of.
The idea that they're confused about races with two legs and a mouth, or creatures that eat through their mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Considering that the Hawk-Bajir were a pretty big thing at that time. And there are probably a lot of other races that walk on two legs.
Yeah, but how many of those really knew much about a Hork-Bajir or actually seen one?
Well, they're in the military, and their main enemy is the Yerk Empire, whose main shock. You'd
They're
think
cadets.
that.
Do you really think they've
Yes.
gotten that? I don't think they've gotten that far into it yet.
I'll destroy you.
No, you won't. I always win.
By the way, all through the book, Elfanger describes little gestures and small habits that really flesh out the nature of the Andalites. For example, Andalites rarely gesture with their arms and instead gesture with their eye stalks. This goes a much longer way in fleshing out the Andalites than any long-winded exposition could. Subtlety is a
Can I
powerful
point out
ally.
That Andalite artwork on that last one is terrible.
Yeah.
It's horrible. I hated it.
It's not great.
That one's so much better.
Yeah, that one's good.
Perhaps the thing that most fleshes out the Andalites' race here is, of all things, the cover. Yeah, the cover. For most of the Animorph books, the covers were illustrated by David B. Mattingly, a pretty good science fiction and fantasy artist. However, the covers of all the Chronicles books were illustrated by Romus Kakalis, and with that, Romus gives us what many Animorphs fans consider the definitive image of what an Andalite looks like.
Would you say that?
Compare this to David B.
I hate that
Mattingly's Andalites.
You don't like that one?
No, I like the Chronicles ones.
I quite like it.
I don't.
The eye stalks are the bit that I'm not too keen on.
And the chest muscles weird me out.
He's got abs!
Why?
Because they're core body muscles.
Why?
Because otherwise he'd just sort of go...
I mean, that he shouldn't be ripped.
Why not?
Because it's weird.
What's wrong with being ripped?
Cringe, my dear, move on.
Those weird segmented eye stalks that look like they can barely move. That stubby tail with a blade barely...
Yeah, that one, I don't know what was going on. The first design. I much prefer the following design.
Size of a hunting knife. How are they supposed to fight with those? If Andalites tail fight each other, do they have to fight ass to ass? Not to mention that Mattingly can't seem to draw Andalites without putting them in these weird, stiff poses, like they've hit a sudden case of rigor mortis. Don't get me wrong, I like David B. Mattingly a lot. A lot of his stuff is great, but if you want to show someone what an Andalite looks like, you break out the Romus Kakalis books. Wow, I've been in Tangent Central in this review, haven't I? Back to the plot. It's decided that the humans should be sent back to Earth and have their memories erased, suggesting the extreme measure the Andalites have taken with the whole Ciro's kindness, don't share technology thing. Even children who have only seen what amounts to nature preserves in space and couldn't possibly explain it to anyone on their home planet needs to get mind melted. Supervising the trip is War Prince Aloran Semitur Kuras, and everyone who's been reading the series up to this point suddenly realized where the story is heading.
Oh shit.
We learn some more about Aloran, mainly that he became disgraced after losing the battle over the Hork-Bajir home planet, though...
He didn't lose a battle, did he?
I'd say technically, because quantum virus got released.
I don't remember him losing a battle, though.
Hmm.
We'll see what he says now.
I think he got disgraced because I believe the Andalite public found out about the virus.
Yeah, but that's not losing the battle.
I think that's wrong.
Why he was disgraced will not be discovered till much later.
Nah, I consider it something wrong. Just about.
Drink. You're British. It's okay. You can drink.
Yeah, I can drink more now. And if your name isn't Wilfred, you drink 4 fingers. Except for me. Drink!
We also learn that he's a very old-school soldier when he learns that Arbron is very capable with computers. An exodatologist, eh? Lauren said with a slight sneer. The new ideal. Warrior, scientist, artist. It's not enough to be a fighter anymore, eh? They want a gentler, more balanced, more intellectual sort of warrior nowadays. Arbron looked helplessly at me. I guess so, War Prince Lauren. I mean, that's what they teach us anyway. For a while,
Don't
Lauren
give me
said
that
nothing.
look.
You're checking the football.
I am checking the football, but I'm also keeping everything else open. I'm dual screening nowadays. Hip and trendy, down with the kids.
You sure you didn't have a few pints before we started?
Let's just carry on. My dear, we're leaving.
Sit back down.
Okay.
He just stared blankly, not at anyone, or at least not at anyone in the room. The electorate want war without slaughter. They want a clean, neat, honorable war. Fools. I was shocked. You didn't call the electorate fools. You just didn't. Sir, Aron said timidly. The computer? What? Oh, yes, computer. Why not? Use it all you like, the prince said. We're in for a long, boring ride. And it is indeed a long, boring ride, since punching holes into the 8th dimension only gets them as far as Mars, and they can't go too fast or that light speed time warp thing will happen. So everyone finds their own little
Which
thing
is
to do.
later
Lauren
contradicted
keeps
in
to
the book.
himself. Arbron plays around with some data he pulled off one of the Skritinaz computers, and Alfanger and Lauren basically bug each other with questions. We just had a war, Lauren said. That's what happened to my dad. He was in it. He didn't get killed or anything, but he kinda... I don't know. After he came back, I guess he couldn't cope with reality, so he left. I saw Lauren's stock eyes swivel to look at Lauren. It was practically the first time he'd ever even noticed her. You have wars? I asked. But you don't have space travel. Who do you fight? Chapman arrived then, having arisen from a nap in his quarters. We fight each other, he said. He winked one eye. So, Lauren, Daddy went nuts though, huh? Another whacked-out nom-vet. I guess some guys can't take it. Lauren's eyes went wide, and then she turned to Chapman. But it was Lauren who spoke. Have you been in a war, human? He asked Chapman. Me? No, of course not. That war's over. Then be quiet, fool. Those who have been
I was annoyed at that scene, but I can't remember why.
Keep listening, you might find out.
into war understand. Those who have not have no opinion worth hearing. He looked directly at Lauren. Even those who return from war may never really...
Isn't that a bit hypocritical of the authors? They've written a whole book series about a war, but they've never been in it. But then again, they're this from Alaran's perspective, so...
I think they did pretty good, though.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But Alaran's saying if you've never been in a war, you shouldn't comment on it.
Yeah, it's true.
But I'm taking it as if the authors are just getting into the role of that character.
They do say write what you know, and, I mean, well...
So the author's on Chapman's side.
But maybe one of the authors' families were in the war or something. I don't know.
really come home. Lauren turned his stock eyes back to the helm and said nothing more. Chapman shrugged, but I could see he was intrigued by Lauren. So was I, to be honest.
I'm a bit triggered by the way he pronounces Alaran's name.
Yeah?
Aloran.
What's wrong with that?
It's Alaran.
How do you know?
Because I'm me. What doesn't she understand about that, honestly?
Have they said it in the audiobooks? At all?
You've listened to the audiobooks, haven't you?
Well, I listened to one of them.
I don't think his name is given in those first 2 books, is he?
No.
I will listen to the audiobooks at some point. They're just expensive. Carrying on.
What was he talking about? I never heard of an Andalite warrior coming back from the war unable to cope, as Lauren had put it, or whacked out, as Chapman had said. Why would a Lauren feel such sympathy? It's nice to be reminded what the series' overarching thesis is, isn't it? Well, shit hits the fan time. Arbron discovers some strange things in the Skritna databanks, which is revealed to be data on the failed Time Matrix, a time-traveling device supposedly created by the Elamists. Though why he would need such a thing is beyond me. It's like a falcon building himself a biplane. The Time Matrix was in the Skritna ship that got away, and where was it going? The Yeerk-controlled Taxon homeworld. Welp. Of course the Yeerks having their hands on this would be a bad deal, though it does raise the question as to why time-traveling schemes haven't been tried before. I mean, after all, you can time travel by just pointing 2 laser guns at each other and firing at the same time. Or, hell, as we'll later see, you can do it with a simple nuclear explosion. Andalite toys for children run on nuclear power. Andalites are taught time travel.
Oh, yeah. I thought he was talking about, like, real life.
No.
I was like, what? Oh, yeah, they're referencing...
You haven't drunk enough to justify saying that. Carry on.
In grade school. Sure, none of this may be as refined as some time machine made by the gods, but it doesn't seem that far-fetched for someone to try and make some stitched-together time vehicle in their garage. Well,
To be fair, all that time travel stuff,
Yeah.
there is a possibility that Cassie is part of the Elamist.
What?
It's one of my Annie theories that's going to be coming up.
Alright, well don't give it away now.
I've already told the viewers.
You haven't told me. You told them, but not me?
Basically, there's a part in Megamorphs 4 where the Elamist comes to the Animorphs and basically says, Cassie, for whatever... You're tied into the previous dimension. And she's like hopping between these 2 dimensions, which is the way for them to get back. She's got these interdimensional fucking abilities. It's weird. And also, being able to operate on Axe's brain and just know how to do it.
I need to read that again.
And all this...
apparently.
Yeah, there's other stuff as well, but I can't think of it off the top of my head right now. But there's loads of weird little bits that make me think, maybe Cassie is like an extension of... Because he did that with the Andalite homeworld. He sent an extension of himself down to the
I'm just
Andalite.
going to throw this out there, but I feel like Michael Grant was just so high when he was writing these that, yeah.
I think there's mostly Catherine who wrote it. I think Michael Grant just wrote the action scenes.
You think so?
I'm pretty sure at some points he said that he was the guy who did like the action stuff.
Yeah, okay. I think you're right.
Yeah. So it's probably
Was she
Catherine.
really
But she
high?
was probably high off her tits as well.
Probably.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Andalites can't just let the Yeerks have this, and hope
gonna
that the
have a drink
Skritna
'cause I
have
want
no
to.
idea what they have.
I've only got through half a
Unfortunately, that
bloody
means-
pint. You need to think up a forfeit for me. Because I've only got through half a pint.
Every time you pause the video.
That's silly. That means I'm controlling how much I drink. It needs to be like out of my
Honestly,
control.
I don't think you can control that.
How about every time it flashes up a certain type of image? Any image with some sort of ship in it, it's 2 fingers.
Okay, you have to finish that pine thing because what already happened.
No, from now on.
Wow, okay.
Dragging along Lauren and Chapman into dangerous waters. They pull out of Z-space near the Taxon homeworld and manage to disable it.
Straight away, yeah! Medipleb, you're drinking 11 fingers. I'll drink, the rest of us drink 2. Drink!
The transport ship. The 3 Andalites break inside and manage
There was another one.
What's that?
Well, yeah, on the cover.
Oh, yeah.
to break inside.
Yep.
It's another 2 fingers.
Technically, you just put it back to that, so.
No, that doesn't count. You can't do that. That's ridiculous. Right, 2 fingers. Drink.
And managed to overcome the forces piloting it. But this being his first official mission.
Might as well just finish the pint.
Yep.
Why have I done this? I've literally just destroyed myself.
Do it.
Yeah.
Alfangor freaks out a bit
Next
while
drink.
Lauren tries to comfort him. Oh, and the Yerk ship is carrying about 10,000 helpless Yerk slugs. Lauren rather coldly demands they be flushed out into space, but Alfangor refuses.
Do you reckon that's like a sort of premonition of Jake? Because Alran flushed 10,000 Yerks into space. What does Jake do at the end of book 53?
17,000.
In the multiple thousands.
Mm-hmm.
Flushes them out into space. Do you reckon that was done deliberately?
Recycling plot points?
That's a much crueler way of putting it.
or
That's a
showing-
much crueler... Oh no, they weren't being metaphorical about it. They were just fucking recycling plot points. That's a really...
I'm just saying all that because I remember Michael Grant saying that he doesn't remember half of what's in the book, so...
Do you reckon he is stoned off his face 24/7?
I think so, because I remember you talking to him a few times and he seemed to be...
Now, I reckon why he's so angry on Twitter all the time is because he's trying to get off of it and he's having withdrawal symptoms.
Possibly.
Because he's trying to get a film in Hollywood.
Or maybe
So he's probably trying to, come off of it, and he's getting all angry.
Maybe instead of maybe he was just too high, maybe they were trying to show how Jake was turning him down.
Maybe.
Now he's high. Go ahead.
Right, he's high.
Things get tense. Be careful what you accuse me of, Aerith Alfangor,
Ship.
Lawrence said harshly.
What?
Ship on the thing.
Oh, for fuck's sake, two fingers drink.
You're a child, so I forgive your impertinence. This time. But you are here to learn, not to question orders. And one of the things you'll learn, my idealistic Aerith, is that war is not about striking brave poses and playing the hero. War is about killing.
That's so cringe, isn't it?
Yeah. that's
War
okay.
is about killing. That is a bit...
I mean, it's extremely simplified, but yeah, it's true.
No, it's not. There have been wars fought where nobody's died. I think... Was it the Zanzibar War?
I'm American. I don't know
It
anything
lasted,
unless
like-
if we weren't involved.
We won after 13 hours. There was a war
That
between...
doesn't count.
There was a war between England and Sweden where nobody died.
Mm-hmm.
War isn't about killing. It's just about getting your way. So Poparena's not wrong, but the book's wrong. No,
Did you hear about
Alaran's wrong.
You can cut this out, but did you hear about the Swedish that spent millions of dollars looking for what they thought was a Russian sub that ended up being a whale?
Those Swedes. Why would I cut that out? That's banter.
It is bitch.
That is banter. Carry on.
Fortunately, it's pointed out that flushing the Yerks would alert the surrounding Yerk ships. So the humans are put into the lockdown
Two
and
fingers,
cloaked Andalite
drink.
ship, while the three Andalites morph taxons and fly the transport ship onto the taxon planet. It's a dry orange.
I think we need to reduce it to one finger.
No,
Just like every other picture.
I don't think so.
Oh, Crystal Palace was scored.
Nobody cares, my dear. Carry on.
Okay. I'm going to reduce it to one finger because that's just silly.
I don't think that's right. You made the rule. got
You realise if I get too drunk, I'll just fall straight asleep tonight.
That's fine.
Fine. Oh, I keep stopping the recording. I think I found a flaw in my dual screen thing.
Do you think it's all cut out?
Sorry?
Do you think half the video's cut out?
No, I've made sure to keep it recording.
Orange world with high mountains and sparse vegetation.
I'm just a bit of
The
a
Andalites
I'm a
land in
fool.
a giant spaceport, swarming with aliens. You know, I often comment on the war aspects of this series, the character development aspects, the realism, all of that. But it's moments like this that remind me that this is also some damn fun science fiction.
That's technically a spaceship.
So the Andalites as taxons
Where?
Right there. It's like a rocket ship, spaceship thing.
Nah, that's... No. Spaceship, you think alien spacecraft.
Getting all technical now.
Well, yeah, that's the... You are
So
trying
the
to get me
Andalites
drunk
as
again.
taxons start searching the spaceport for the
British, I don't
Skritnos
know.
ship.
You're British.
But an industrial accident causes a taxon to fall from a great height, which causes a feeding frenzy. And now, children, it's Greg's story time.
Eh?
My grandfather fought in World War II and brought back several stories with him. One such story concerned an American agent, posing as a German civilian, riding on a German train car. In the middle of the room was a bucket where everyone could see, which was used as a toilet. It was a long train ride with no stops, but the American was just too decent and sophisticated to use the bucket. Pretty soon it became obvious to the soldiers on board that the American was holding it, and soon his cover was blown and he was captured. So, guess
Do you reckon that's a true story?
Probably.
I don't know. Yeah, okay. I'll accept it as true. I just find it hard to believe that you'd blow your cover as a spy because of that. But plus, in the military, you do it in front of each other all the time.
Do you?
When we were on exercise, the lavatories, big tent, 8 buckets basically, no cubicles.
Just pooping.
Yep, all in front of each other. So, a story about a man who refuses to do that in the military, especially a spy.
That's an American spy, though, not a British one, my dear. We have cards we hold up when we're offended now.
Yeah, but World War II, people were hard as nails. People ate nails for breakfast in those days, without milk. Without milk. Speaking of milk, Oterlu, 20 press-ups.
That's what happens when Elfangor doesn't give in to the Taxon's instincts to eat fresh meat. Yep, he gets picked up out of the crowd by a Hork-Vizier controller known as Sub-Vizier 7. The Sub-Vizier escorts Elfangor into a transport and starts interrogating Elfangor while heading to one of the mountains. It soon becomes clear that the Sub-Vizier isn't sure if this is an Andalite morph or a rebel taxon, which is news.
I don't like the way he pronounces Visser.
What does he say?
Visser, as if it was Zed's.
American.
Is that what Americans do, is it?
I say Vizor.
You're a weird country. I think we should bomb America.
To Elfangor. Up to this point, it was thought that all
I'm
taxons...
sorry, is my joke too edgy? Have I offended you? Have I offended you?
No.
Good. Some people need to grow a fucking backbone in this world.
Stop hitting your desk, you're gonna break it.
I hit my chair. It's different. Have I offended you by hitting my fucking chair?
Yes.
Right, okay, that's fair. Right. Fucking
Taxons
carry on.
willingly became hosts of the Yeerks. So any kind of taxon resistance must have been pretty hushed up by the Yeerks. Or maybe, just maybe, by the Andalites. Then Sub-Vizier 7 begins to imagine out loud what it would be like to control an Andalite body, which causes Elfangor to outburst in youthful arrogance. "My name is Elfangor, Yeerk," I said. "Remember the name. You'll be here."
My fourth of the character traits for Andalites is Andalite arrogance. He said youthful arrogance. That's different, isn't it?
No, arrogance is arrogance.
But specifying Andalite arrogance to youth arrogance. Two different arrogances.
But it's of an Andalite.
Nah, but there is a spaceship on screen, so I will drink to that. That's a nice compromise, isn't it? 2 fingers, drink.
Hearing it again. "But you will never take me alive." Yeah, why don't you just yell, "Wolverines!" while you're at it?
Continue in part 3. Okay then.
Did you get through 2 parts?
Yeah.
Oh.
Unable to force him to demorph, the Yeerks have no option but to kill Elfangor. So they pull out their Dracon beams and... Oh,
That's cringe, isn't it?
Yeah.
oh no, wait. That would have been too simple and sure. So, like something out of a James Bond film, Sub-Vizier 7 instead tosses Elfangor into a pit of wild, hungry taxons. Of course, Elfangor just demorphs and manages to fight off the taxons, which, remember, are really just giant Polish sausages. And then Elfangor morphs the 12-winged Capet bird, which he acquired back in morphing school. Good choice, It was either that or refrigerator repair school. Elfangor escapes, but as he manages to get out of the grasp
I don't get some of his humour. Do you?
A little bit.
I don't get a lot of it.
I get it, but it's not great.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
What do you think of his video format? Considering as well it's 2010 YouTube, during which time this is probably like pretty good quality for 2010 YouTube.
It's not horrible, but the way he does the voices cringes me a bit.
Also, you got to remember 2010 microphones. I was telling you about the glory days of YouTube earlier. It was the quality of videos tended to be fucking atrocious
Yeah.
compared to today, when everyone's got like almost professional quality cameras. So I'm not going to criticise for that.
I know it's not the quality. It's the voice.
What, the voices he puts on the characters?
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
of the Yeerks, he witnesses the Andalite
2 fingers. Drinky doodles.
ship landing in the Yeerk spaceport. Chapman gets out.
You realise if I get through all 4 of these pints, madness will ensue.
Yep.
Okay.
With a bound Lauren and announces to the Yeerks that he's interested in a trade, and he's got a whole planet of humans to trade with. Bullshit. I'm going to come out with this right now. Chapman in the Andalite Chronicles is probably among the top 5 mistakes Kay Applegate ever made.
That is right.
Yeah.
That is absolute. I like how he's put that book up. I've just noticed that. He's put up the hidden while he's talking about mistakes.
I think that should be another rule. Every time the hidden cover comes on, you have to drink.
From now on.
Yep.
How many fingers?
I don't know.
3?
Make it 4.
4. 4 fingers every time the hidden shows up. I like that. I put that in my non-canon thing.
Yep.
Canon. Yeah, it was. Book 39 was a mistake.
Even up there with the Buffa-Human and the Animorphs going to Atlantis.
That was
Chapman is such a fucking asshole.
That was a good book, The Mutation.
Yeah.
You need to read. We need to go through the series with you.
Mm-hmm.
Such a teenage Hitler. The depths of his jerkness know no bounds. And why? Where does this total evilness come from? I don't know. We spend far more time discussing Lauren's past than Chapman's, and Chapman's a regular character. You can't just say that a character is this evil without giving us the slightest hint as to why.
Yep.
Even Visor 3 and Visor 1 are...
Considering as well, in book 2, he was actually a pretty noble dude, wasn't he?
Yeah.
So part of the reason I hate the Andalite Chronicles is because it started this fucking trend with just annihilating whatever Chapman stood for or what his character stood for.
Sometimes teenagers are dicks. Okay, they all are.
Yeah, but fucking... It just ruined his character completely. He was this noble guy who did this noble thing, and then suddenly the Andalite Chronicles comes out. Oh, Chapman's just an asshole. He's a twat. Whatever. He's a dipstick. And a divvy. We were talking earlier. What would you rather be? Dipstick or divvy?
You said divvy.
I'd rather be a divvy than a dipstick. Just saying.
Are going to get in-depth backstories detailing their motivations. There's no reason for Chapman to be like this. And then there's the fact that the Chapman we see in this book is a complete contradiction between the Chapman we've gotten to know in the series thus far.
That's what I said.
What did we know about Chapman before this? Well, he surrendered his freedom in order to keep his daughter away from harm. He volunteered to be...
Poparena agrees with me. In fact, he travelled forward in time 12 years to agree with me before he made this video.
Yeah.
He stole my ideas 12 years ago.
Wow.
He came forward in time, saw my ideas, stole them, and took them back to 2010. The bastard!
become a controller for the sake of his family. You cannot have a character...
I'll slam you in a minute.
Every time you slam your chair or the desk, you have to drink 2 fingers.
From now on. Fuck, okay.
that gives up everything to save those he loved, developed from a character who sells out his entire planet for no good reason other than he's a dick.
Yep.
It doesn't matter if Chapman realizes the errors of his way, and, by the way, spoiler warning, he doesn't. You just can't leap from these two extremes.
Yep.
A lot of people in the Animorphs community have actually speculated that this may not even be the same Chapman. That this guy is just some drugged up Nazi
What's that?
skinhead who happens to also be named Chapman. But you know that's just wishful thinking.
Yeah.
This is the real Chapman, and he'll never again be the tragic figure we thought him as.
If I do a video on the top 5 mistakes of Animorphs, that may be one of the top ones.
Yeah.
How they handled Chapman. It was almost inexcusable. It's a new word I just made up.
What?
Inexcusable.
Way to make it fancy, my dear.
I'm a very fancy guy. That was right on cue, wasn't it?
And getting back to the plot,
Spaceship.
That joke worked for like 2 seconds and then it went,
Spaceship.
oh fuck yeah, 2 fingers, drink.
how the hell did this happen? The Andalite ship was locked down, and even if it wasn't, how the hell did Chapman fly it? Do the Andalites also use all-access thought-controlled touchpads? Would it have been that hard for some Yerk starcraft to have discovered the Andalite ship and towed it back to the spaceport? Does anyone else feel that K.A. was kind of rushing this part of the book? With the humans captured, his allies missing, a ticking time travel bomb hidden somewhere around here, and him as the most noticeable bird this side of Sesame Street, Elfangor decides it's best to try and land, morph Taxon again, and start searching for the Skritnaut ship.
Alright.
He can get away
Count
with
them,
this
2
because
fingers.
the Yerks are horribly racist and think all Taxons look the same. He eventually locates the ship, and with it, Arbron, who's been hiding out.
Right, 4
Unfortunately,
fingers.
Arbron
Yeah, keep
has
counting.
stayed in Taxon Morph for over 2 hours, and is now stuck. Man, that's gotta be depressing. Taxon ranks as number 3 on the list of things you don't want to be stuck as, with number 2 being Tapeworm and number 1 being Carlos Mencia.
Ouch.
Who the fuck is that?
I don't know, but ouch, Carlos.
Look that up. Who's the fuck is...
Being Carlos Mencia.
Carlos. He's American, he can't say
Thank
it
you, my
properly.
dear.
Carlos Mencia, and he looks like that. Who's he?
We're finding out.
Well, find out quicker, woman.
Hush.
Right, I owe 4 fingers while you're doing that.
Honduran-born American comedian, writer, and actor.
That joke's aged well. Honduran American comedian.
Yeah, I don't know.
To be fair, he does look a bit cringe, doesn't he?
Yeah, especially with that pose. Please don't. Stop.
Right, I owe 4 fingers. Enlighten us with some wisdom while I drink these 4 fingers. Come on, wisdom.
Don't put me on the spot like that.
Alright, a joke.
British football is better than American football? That's a joke.
2, that's the truth! I can't believe what I'm fucking... Right, that's it. Darling, we're leaving.
Sit down.
Okay, I'll sit down. Football is better than American football.
Sorry, guys.
If you don't understand that, then you don't understand basic science.
Carry on.
Right, carry on. Yes, we shall.
Did you drink all 4?
No, I'll carry on drinking.
And what sucks is that Arbron was, by
Don't try to catch me out. That's Medipleb's job.
Sorry, Mediclub.
Yeah, yeah. You apologise.
I did.
You apologise again.
Don't tell me what to do.
I'm sorry. Did I offend you?
No, shut up and just play the video.
I'm sorry for mansplaining. You know, voicing my opinion. I'm sorry.
Better be.
I know
You owe me.
I know it's illegal now. I owe you.
Yeah.
What do I owe
'cause
you?
You're a man.
Oh yeah, sorry. Fucking. Well done for being a woman. I don't fucking know.
accounts, a better soldier than Elfangor. Arbron was a great shot, a computer whiz, and was better at keeping his cool than Elfangor. Though, I will say, maybe this is a personal thing, but it didn't feel like 2 hours had passed since Arbron morphed Taxon. It felt closer to 1.
I don't remember, so I don't know.
Elfangor and Arbron managed to make it into
fucking...
the script.
Oh, I'm starting to feel the alcohol now.
Drink.
Give me a sec. I've just drunk 4. Give me a sec. Whoa! What? Just give me a fucking sec. Give me a second, right? Okay. Give me a second.
Your alcohol tolerance is embarrassing, my dear.
Oh, come on, from you.
You're
Right.
British. You're born with
Right,
a
the first
bottle.
time she came to Britain, we went to a bar in... Oh, Brighton have scored.
Oh,
We came to a bar in Plymouth, and you had... From what I remember, it was a glass of Old Moot cider,
Yeah.
and you got halfway through it, and you were fucking sloshing all over the place, fucking...
I think that was rigged.
What do you mean rigged? You said I drugged you on the first date.
I wouldn't put it past you.
What the fuck is that meant to mean?
I'm just kidding, my dear.
Oh ha ha! Accuse me of like drugging you on the computer.
Teasing. Come on.
I'll drug you with strongly worded letters in a minute if you're not
I
careful.
was gonna say you were probably like putting shots in my drink or something, not drugs, but you went there.
Well, you went there to Plymouth.
We just played the video for fuck's sake.
I need to drink 2 fingers. Drink and all that rest of that crap. This is why Britain and America shouldn't mix. Take that back. I like mixing.
Now ship and take off. They race away from the spaceport, but 3 bug fighters make hop.
Fucking 4 fingers now. Jesus Christ.
But there's 5 ships on that page.
No, that doesn't fucking count. It's per picture. Stop trying to get me drunk. I know what you're after. You're after a bit of fucking...
Just play the video.
You're after a bit of...
You're gonna be
yeah.
passing out tonight, so don't give me that.
I'm going to need the lavatory in a minute. You should see the faces she's pulling at me. It's ridiculous. Sean, cover your freaking eyes over there. Cover your eyes, you bastard. Don't be offended out there. If you're a sensitive soul, don't be offended.
He's exaggerating.
What do you mean exaggerating? What am I exaggerating? The sensitivity of some members of the audience?
Everything today.
There are some things I'm not exaggerating. Make of that what you will, my dear. 4 fingers, drink. Stop pulling that face at me. We're doing a video. It's not time for that
I
yet.
can't stop laughing.
Oh, ha ha ha! Let's carry on.
Hot pursuit.
By the way, I'm gonna like the video because I haven't liked one yet. There we go.
News and bad news.
Drink.
The good news
Oh, for
is
fuck's sake!
Yeah.
6 fingers. Right. 6 fingers. Fucking hell. I shouldn't have invented this rule.
My dear.
What? What's that? What? You trying
It
to
counts.
counts?
Does it count towards that?
No! She's showing me pictures of spaceships on her phone now and trying to get me to drink more. Right. It's not quite the end of my pint, but it's nearly there.
is that the Skritnaut, despite being the spaceship equivalent of a rocket-powered frisbee, is designed for flying in atmosphere, whereas the bug fighters are designed for flying in the vacuum of space. So Fangor and Arbron managed to outrace and eventually outshoot them. The bad news is that Arbron has decided that the best time to start getting suicidal about the situation is in the middle of a high-speed UFO chase. He tries to trick out Fangor into killing him.
Sake.
That's your whole pint. Did you fit that much liquid in your stomach?
Apparently not.
Do you need to pause the video and then come back in a little bit?
No. What do you take me for? Some sort of Brazilian?
What?
You know what I'm talking about.
No.
Oh. Well, nor do I, really.
We never do.
Why do you bring these things up?
You brought it up.
Oh, shit, yeah, I did. Down my drink. Down my drink. It's nearly full time, by the way. Brighton 1, Crystal Palace 1.
You're literally the only one that cares.
I'm sure Oterlu cares.
Why is that?
Drink, everyone.
You know, the more you drink, the more you sound like Jim from Friday Night Dinner.
Shalom to you all.
In the face. Keep drinking.
Friend.
Keep drinking my secrets.
Wilson. What do you mean I sound like Jim from Friday Night? His surname is the same as mine.
I'm aware.
The actor.
Uh-huh. Carry on.
That's worrying. I'm still finishing my drink, my dear. You need to talk to the audience. I gave you a job and you didn't do it.
I'm just supplementary commentary.
Not anymore, you're not.
I'm not doing
You're
your
getting
job.
right involved in this
I'm
video.
not doing your job for you.
You're getting right involved.
Oh dear.
Why are women so difficult? It's full time, by the way. Just so you know, it was 1-1 between Brighton and Crystal Palace. I wonder if the Andalites have football.
They have driftball.
That's a bit cringe.
It's probably a type of football, but with low gravity or something.
Now that's cool.
Where they hit it with their tail.
Right. Why am I doing that? I've got to finish the fucking thing.
But Elfangor chops off a few of Arbron's 1,000 legs to incapacitate him, but the shit hits the fan and the Skritnos ship crashes.
Is that a ship?
Elfangor regains
That
consciousness.
looked like a real photograph, which would mean it's not a spaceship.
Okay, but then
This in
pan
the
back to
ruined
this one.
Oh, come on. Right, I'm reducing it to one thing because this is getting fucking ridiculous. I'm going to run out of drinks.
We've got hard liquor. No, that's a bad idea.
Yeah, that's a fucking bad idea.
A terrible idea.
Yep.
You could always
which
owe the
surprisingly
next
hasn't
video.
been discovered by Yerk forces.
Right, count them.
All
One.
signs indicate that several
You're my
taxons
counter.
arrived on the scene while Elfangor was knocked out.
Then
But why they
again,
didn't
you
eat
are American and counting must be quite difficult.
Shut up.
him is curious. Without much clue of what to do, Elfangor starts digging around the ship's cargo bay, and after digging through some human artifacts, including a cigarette magazine ad, which we focus on for perhaps a bit too long, Elfangor finally discovers the perfect white orb that is Patrick Stewart's head. I mean the time matrix. Elfangor can't move it, and with no real plan, starts heading back towards the Yerk spaceport. Of course, that's now thousands of miles away, so Elfangor decides to use the other great device he discovered in the ship. A bright yellow Mustang with Rolling Stones blaring from the 8-track player.
I actually genuinely hated this part.
Did you? Why?
There's just no... It was there for the sake of being there. I didn't feel it. There was no... There's
You didn't
nothing...
like picture yourself driving across the planet in a Mustang?
It's... how do I explain it? It's like... It's being showy for the sake of being showy. There's no substance to it. There's no reason for it. It just... It's trying to...
Ooh, that gives me a good question for your quiz.
Uh-huh. Give me the question without the answer.
What kind of soda was Elfangor drinking?
Dr. Pepper.
Yes, but then you just gave it away.
Well, you asked me the bloody question, woman.
You said without the answer. Okay.
Yeah, from you.
Well, I hope whoever you're quizzing doesn't watch the video.
Well, that's Raptor, and he probably will watch this, so
Then
we're not
I'll
going to
give you
ask
that
that
one.
question.
Can you believe this?
Don't give me that freaking look. I'm drinking. How many fingers do I owe? 2, right.
Yep, you don't get much more inconspicuous than that.
Here in my car, I feel safest of all. I can lock from my doors. It's the only way to live in cars.
No, that's bad.
Here in my car, I can only
going on?
So Elfangor cruises for a bit before the ground gives in, and he falls into an underground cave. There he finds a mountain of
I'm
oozing
waiting for the
flesh
bit where
and
he
an
comes
army
to
of
the
taxons, along
black
with
hole that
Arbron.
appears out of nowhere.
Arbron
I'll wait
explains
to
that
see
the
what it says
mountain
about
thing
that.
is the living hive, basically a taxon queen, and that this is a colony of Yerk-free taxons. The living hive wants all the taxons freed again, but has the rather crippling disadvantage of being damn near brain dead. Luckily, Arbron showed up, and he's been hired as the new taxon general, and he'll lead the free taxons into a suicidal attack on the...
I didn't get that either. He's
What?
been attacking for 5 minutes and already he's a fucking general.
Hmm.
That's cringe.
Then again, like
Spaceport.
cavemen, they find.
How
they
can he imagine
Oh yeah, fuck. One finger
that
drink.
anything to do with the taxons would ever be a good cause? These taxons were no less cannibalistic, no less murderous, and yet, if they opposed the Yerks, could I refuse to offer that help? A thought occurred. Remember all the way back in number 1, The Invasion, when Elfangor explained that the taxons were completely evil? I mean,
Yeah, that was weird, wasn't it? But then again, a lot of things in book 1 were retconned. Are you alright? Are you awake?
Yes.
Just looking like... That's how I feel.
That's how you look all the time, my dear.
Oh, thanks. Fuck. What the fuck does that mean? God, women are complicated. If you're a woman, drink 4 fingers for being complicated. Isn't that right, Sean? Have you had to deal with complicated women in your life? Then call this number now. 0800 twat. Don't you laugh.
That's rude.
It stands for 10 women are torture. Are you trying to point out that my face is leaking?
Yes.
I'm going to get a tissue. Entertain the audience while I do that.
That's not gonna happen.
What do you mean not going to happen? You have to.
Sorry,
It's
audience.
the law. It's the
Ooh, I got an
law,
email.
my dear.
But I got an email, I gotta check it.
You got, there's not time for email, it's time for banter.
I know he didn't have time to give the Animorphs a history lesson or anything, but that seemed like a bit of a white lie, wasn't it? Anyway, Elfangor agrees to help with the taxons in the coolest way possible.
Spaceship, one finger
Vehicular
drink.
homicide! The taxons make tunnels to the spaceport and attack, and all Elfangor can do is drive his newfound Mustang into anything that moves. Eventually, he makes it back to the captured Andalite ship, where Arbron
One
has
finger
somehow
drink.
gathered Lauren and Chapman. The reunion is interrupted by Subvisor 3, who surrounds them with Hork-Bajir soldiers and tells them to surrender. Suddenly, a Lauren shows up in Hork-Bajir morph like fucking
Lauren.
Batman and captures Subvisor 7. The Subvisor seems to recognize the Lauren and orders the rest of the Hork-Bajir to back off. The humans, the 2 Andalites, and the Subvisor
Fucking hell, this is getting ridiculous. You do realise we've got work to do tomorrow.
Not till like 3.
I've got to stand in a freezing cold tower for 3 hours. 2 hours.
Hey, you'll be alright.
As long as you bring me sustenance.
I can make that a thing.
Don't sigh.
I'll bring you sustenance 3 times a day.
Oh yeah. Women are good at making sandwiches, aren't they? One finger drink.
pile into the Andalite
Oh, for
ship.
fuck's sake.
That's karma, my dear.
That is karma. For fuck's sake. 3 fingers drink.
Leaving Arbron behind. Elfangor.
Ah, fuck you! Poparena, what are you doing to... Just count them till the end of the video. Just count them. 3.
There's no future for me anywhere. But you can't, I said. Who's going to remind me not
We're
to be
only
so stiff?
a minute away
Who's
from
going to
the end of
laugh
the
at me
video.
when I start talking about being a great prince? You go, Elfangor, Arbron said gently. Go save the galaxy. Leave him, Lauren said. Aerith.
See, this is the problem with the Andalite Chronicles. It read like a fucking crappy Hollywood film.
I enjoyed it, hush.
Alright, fucking hell. Alright, woman alert, fucking... Durka.
Drunk Brit alert.
What?
Someone's drunk.
Yes, someone is drunk.
You've only had 3 pints.
In the space of like a minute. Well, more like whatever.
Warrior Arbron is a casualty of war.
But he should have been a rock star.
But he didn't have the money for a guitar.
He should have been a politician.
But he never had a proper education.
He should have been a father.
But he never even made it to his 20s.
This song is cringe.
I don't know what this is. What's going on?
I don't know.
Oh, what a waste of army dreams. Oh, what a waste of all that army dreams. Army dreams. Army dreams.
Do you understand this?
No.
Anyway, I owe 3 fingers. We've still got 2 more parts to go.
You're
Do you wanna
running out
do-
of ale.
Sorry?
What did you say?
Well, if we get through these 4 pints, I'm just going to unleash madness.
I don't know if you can keep going. You're running out of ale.
I
Wait.
will unleash oh,
Did you just close it?
yes. And part 4 starts with a ship.
Mm.
4 fingers.
Yep.
This is your fault.
Medipleb?
Yeah, Medipleb. Your fault. So you have to...
Don't make a sandwich and eat it.
No, you have to phone up your parents and tell them that you've been arrested for pulling your wadger out in front of the Queen of Trinidad.
No.
No, that's the forfeit. You got to do that. Go do it.
You're going to edit this tomorrow and be like, what the hell happened?
That's what I do for every video I do, my dear, and I upload it anyway.
That's fair.
Oh, fuck. 4 fingers. Okay.
The
Should I
Andalite
go to the
ship
corner
takes
shop
off,
for more?
No, we've got loads over there.
but instead of going to the crashed Skritna ship and picking up the time matrix,
I'm cancelling the spaceship forfeit
Why?
because I can't do it anymore. It's every 5 seconds.
It's funny.
It might
You
be
can't
funny for you.
cancel it.
Oh, fucking hell.
Aloran tosses the Hork-Bajir out of the ship at an altitude of 15,000 feet, and then orders Elfanger to go and destroy the cargo ship they flew in on and
Right,
kill
count them.
helpless Yerks
That's your
inside.
job. That's your
Wait, they're
job.
still in there? It's been almost a whole day since they landed. Elfanger refuses to fire. They are defenseless, I says.
Fucking hell!
Good.
Stop
You
it,
are the
Poparena!
3.
Hypocrites. You're all hypocrites. We
Once we
lost
get
the
to
Hork-Bajir
10,
war because
then
of
we'll drink.
weak, moralizing fools like you. Because of fools like you, I am disgraced and shunned and sent off trivial errands with nothing but Eris under my command. War Prince Aloran, I honor you, but what is the difference how you destroy your enemy? Aloran demanded. I had no idea what he was talking
It's
about.
Aloran, it's not
He was off somewhere in
Aloran.
his
It's
own head,
Aloran!
lost in his own memories. What does it matter if you kill them with a tailblade or a shredder or a quant?
Do you know what might annoy him? His video has exactly 100 likes to 0 dislikes. OCD. Fucking done. Sorry,
You can't
Poparena.
dislike videos anymore. They don't show up.
It doesn't matter. It's 100 to 0.
I
Anyone
know.
who suffers from OCD will be like, yeah, I'm happy with that. I'm happy. Oh, fuck you. Not happy anymore.
Can you like and dislike it a bunch so it shows up on his feed?
Sorry?
If you like and dislike it, will it show up on his feed that you kept doing that?
No.
Oh.
That's not how it works.
Damn.
By the way, if you're wondering why I can see that he's got 0 dislikes on this, it's because I know YouTube has removed dislikes, but if you type into Google, what is it? Return what is it? Return YouTube return YouTube dislike. You can install an extension to your browser that allows you to see dislikes. So if you want to see dislikes on videos, just do that. Return YouTube dislike, which is why I can see it here. But I've now upset the balance. It was 100 to 0. It's now 101 to 0. It's a
virus. Something I want you to remember for future reviews. Aloran both admitting to the use of a deadly virus in war, and that it has something to do with weak, moralizing fools. Keep that in mind. Aloran threatens Elfangor, but Chapman suddenly attacks from behind, distracting Aloran long enough for Elfangor to knock him unconscious. Not sure what to do, Elfangor flies the ship to the crash site and picks up the time matrix. But as he's digging it out of the wreckage, he realizes, hey, don't Yerks infest things? He realizes this just in time for Aloran and Chapman to try and shoot him down, but Elfangor manages to incapacitate him. Then Aloran appears,
what are you doing to me,
but it's not
Poparena?
Aloran anymore. Yeah, what we got here is your standard Visor 3 origin story, yes sir. Yeah, turns out that the Hork-Vizier posing as Sub-Visor 7 was a decoy, and the Yerk was actually in Chapman's head. When Elfangor wasn't watching, the Yerk exited Chapman and entered Aloran, creating the one and only Andalite controller. Elfangor uses his super-duper laser gun to stun Sub-Visor 7, and when bug fighters show up, tricks them into thinking he's Sub-Visor 7, and orders the Yerks to fire on the other Andalite. The real Sub-Visor 7 makes a run for it. Elfangor tractor beams the time matrix into the belly of the ship.
Poparena, why the fuck are you doing... Can we just call that a finished pint? Because then I have to unleash madness.
Okay, I will have mercy on you.
Finished with pint. Yeah, I get it. It's not exactly 10 fingers. But you know what? Fucking what? Yeah, fucking this, that and t'other. Right? That's my explanation for you. If you don't accept it, then you're a fucking knobhead. There's a fly in my softbox lighting. Drink, Sean. Oh, yes, I agree. Drink. Fucking hell. You know what? Like the first episode of this, I got through half a pint and I was like, fucking hell, I'm not drinking much at all. And I introduced this spaceship rule. What a fucking mistake that was. Fucking hell, Poparena, how many spaceships do you want to show in your fucking video? Ah! Oh, fuck me. I should have remembered that, like, 2 of the Andalite Chronicles covers have spaceships on them. My own fucking fault. The missus has run off. Left me to suffer the consequences on my own. Bitch! Yeah, you heard that. Woman! God. By the way, if you're offended by this episode, you can write your complaint letter to 23 fucking L Street, Fuckton, Soddingshire, postcode Toss Off. Right? That's where you can write your fucking complaint letter to, right? Fucking hell. You'll be surprised how many people are offended by the fact that Cards Against Humanity can be offensive. You'd be fucking surprised, wouldn't you? Right, she's back now, which means I can go to the lavatory.
Are you hungry?
No.
Check.
Right. I'm going to finish this. I'm going to go to the lavatory. And then I'm going to unleash madness.
Is there more beer?
Come back. No, don't you go near there. Come back. Come back.
Beer! You're in...
I'm going to unleash madness. And
Oh,
it's
look,
just...
there's tons of bottles.
My dear, stop where you are. I'm going to unleash madness.
Okay. Take the madness.
Fucking take the hint, woman. I'm going to go to the lab. I love her, really. She's all right.
Thanks, my dear.
Right. Since you now run out of the Green King IPA, there it is.
Nice.
She lost her phone and now she's found it. You know Bill?
From work?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was complaining all morning that he'd lost his camera. And he was asking everyone. For the audience, he's a 90-year-old bloke who comes to work. He's a veteran. He was complaining all morning that somebody had... well, not somebody nicked his camera, but he couldn't find his camera. So he was asking me. Turned out it was in his fucking bag all along.
Of course. Just
Don't-
like all the random tea bags in his pocket.
Dozy up. That was funny. It was so cruel to him. Yeah, I'm not going to go into that fucking story, but yeah, Bill's awesome. Right, I'm going to unleash madness now because I finished my 4 pints of Green King IPA thanks to your new fucking rule that you...
You have to pour it in the cup though because...
I will, don't worry,
Can't be-
I
can't be
fucking
honest
will, I
about it.
fucking will, I fucking will, I fucking will.
Getting a little Liverpoolish there, my dear.
I'm not a scouser. Right, I'm going to unleash madness, which is from the Wild Beer Company, West Coast IPA. It's a pretty funky looking thing. Madness beer. So I was being serious when I said I'd unleash the madness. 6.5% ABV.
I'm not British, I don't speak alcohol terms.
That's a strong lager.
Okay. Oh no.
And I'm already drunk.
How drunk?
4 pints in an hour drunk. If you space them out, you're fine. But the pace I've been fucking drinking them, considering as well for like the first 20 minutes I hardly touched anything. Right, madness. How does it smell? Fucking juicy. Right, let's carry on, shall we? Right, from now on... Yeah.
And he and the 2 humans escape the Taxon world. Whew, that's a lot to take
One.
in. How many more pages do we
That's
have?
why I keep
Let me
counting.
check here. 139. Eesh. Well, with all that heavy plot out of the way, the book has now decided to switch gears, and things are going to get a whole lot sillier. Elfangor removes the yerk from
More silly than it's already been. Fucking hell.
Lauren's head. They tie up Chapman, who, by the way, has not felt any regret for handing Earth over to the Yeerks, even after becoming a controller himself, and the ship slips into Z-space for a while in hiding, as the Yeerks have most certainly put a bug on the ship. Elfangor and Lauren have some bonding
3.
time, and then Elfangor decides the best idea is to come out of Z-space near the
4.
Andalite fleet for protection.
Fucking hell.
But when they actually do that, they discover, well, living asteroids that eat spaceships. I really don't know what to say about this. The Andalite fleet are getting brutalized by living asteroids that eat spaceships.
And then what happens?
5.
5. Then what happens?
Black hole?
All the living asteroids disappear, and suddenly they're falling into a black hole.
Mm-hmm.
Out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
What a shit fucking book it is.
Hush.
How... Look, any book that ends a chapter with, oh, we were being attacked by these living asteroids, and then the next chapter starts, we were being sucked into a black hole.
Sounds like a lot of action going on. Why don't you keep going? You got 5 fingers.
And when the Yeerks show up in pursuit of Elfangor, they too get a faceful of living asteroids that eat spaceships. Subvisor 7 is there. Subvisor 7 is always there.
Oh, that's a character trait finger. First time we've had one of them, actually. Visor 3 always there. Technically the same character.
6.
6 fingers.
Only now he's been promoted to Visor 32, and he's got himself a brand new blade ship. Elfangor manages to trick
7.
the Visor into docking with the Andalite ship, and as the Visor boards, Elfangor fires the ship gun point blank into the blade ship, causing it to disengage and sucking all the air out of the
8.
Andalite ship. A living asteroid that eats spaceships attaches and sucks all the power out of the Andalite ship, and the 4 occupants are trapped with an emergency air supply. Nope.
Fucking hell, Sean. This is your fault. I don't know why, but it's fucking your fault.
Power and the black hole. Oh, did I mention the black hole? Yeah, neither did the book. Just
He's got it right.
suddenly, BAM! All the living asteroids that eat spaceships are gone, and there's a black hole, and everyone acts like it's always been there.
I've never watched this video before, or this series. The Andalite Chronicles reviews from Poparena. He said exactly the same fucking thing I did. Where the fuck did those asteroids go, and where the fuck did that black hole come from?
Are you delaying because the next image is going to make you drink 10?
Basically, in this series, I'm going to down that pint of 6.5% ABV.
Yeah.
That's basically the forfeit.
Yeah.
I'm going to down madness. Are you happy? Are you happy with that? Are you, Medipleb, happy with that forfeit? At the end of this series, which is over in about 12 minutes, I finish it by downing the madness.
But you're already almost downing the madness in this video.
Let's be fair.
Damn, that's just sloppy. So both...
Sloppy. Yeah, my thoughts. Actually, no, that's an understatement, isn't it? That's just fucking incompetence.
My dear, these books aren't supposed to be winning tons of awards. They're children's books.
I know, but still. A lot like Gordon Ramsay, right? We've been watching a lot of Kitchen Nightmares recently. It doesn't matter. Oh, you're just a fucking restaurant on the side of the road. It doesn't fucking matter. You still have to get the basics right. Yeah? She's giving me that look of, ooh. Aren't you?
fleets have retreated, and the only escape is the time machine on the bottom of the ship, on the outside. Thankfully, the ship comes equipped with what amounts to plastic bags you can put over your head and tie around your neck. So Fangor and Visor, or whatever, work together to get the time matrix back into the ship. Kind of like the tense in space without a helmet scene from 2001 Space Odyssey, only with all the tension removed by the fact that we just had a scene with living asteroids that eat spaceships. Elfangor managed to get the time matrix back into the ship, but nobody knows how to work the thing. Elfangor, Lauren, and the Visitor just end up putting their hands on it and wishing really hard they were somewhere else, which causes a psychic connection, and the world kind of breaks apart around them, and vortexes appear, and the building blocks of the cosmos are made visible to them, and stuff. Elfangor wakes up to find himself on the Andalite homeworld, right next to his old childhood home, or dirt pit as it is. And there's alien trees, and they kind of talk or something. Elfangor is stuck with bewildered nostalgia, but is snapped out of it when he discovers that the world is actually something totally different. A patched-together world with chunks of the Andalite homeworld, Earth, and the Yerk homeworld.
Stop smiling!
A desolate wasteland with strange half-life creatures. Elfangor, Lauren, and the Visitor meet up again, and deduce that they must have wished to go to 3 different destinations, and the Time Matrix just kind of mixed them all together, creating a new world. And there's something about monsters that evolve to have wheels, but they're too stupid to mention beyond this.
What are they called?
Really, most of the stuff in the...
Garatrons?
No.
No. Crap.
Similar. Where are the Garatrons from? I'm questioning her now. She gets it wrong. Medipleb drinks 5 fingers.
It's been so long since I...
Where are the Garatrons from, first off? And what are they?
The creatures are from the Yerk homeworld.
No.
They were pets.
The ones with wheels were,
Yeah.
but the Garatrons, where are they from?
I don't remember.
Alright, fair enough. It's a shit book anyway. Where the creatures with wheels, what are they called? Starts with an M.
Not Mortrons, is it?
That's the one. She got it right. The Garatrons were from book 37. The one I ranked lowest in the series.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
The worst book in the series.
I haven't read these books in years, so, like, I knew it was something Tron.
She's an Animorphs fan that hasn't been keeping up. To be fair, though, you still kept a lot of the knowledge. And you will be reading them again soon.
Yeah.
Because I told you to. And I'm the man and I'm in charge.
That's funny that you think so.
Yeah, that's actually quite funny that I think I'm in charge.
The New World doesn't really amount to anything besides formally introducing Elfangor to Earth in a way. Ultimately, they figure out that the time matrix must be in the center of this world, so they race to go there, but the closer they get to the center, the older they age. By the time they get to the time matrix, Lauren is about 4 years older. They fight with the Visitor, and Lauren whisks her and Elfangor to Earth, but in Earth, where everyone thinks Lauren is 18 instead of 14. Okay.
Right, I'm happy to end the video there because I've basically got to down the madness.
Correct.
And I don't want to be sick tonight.
That's fair.
And I think we've covered the main points. Basically, the book is shit. Plot-wise.
I enjoyed it. I'm
gonna drink this as we discuss the book.
I enjoy a lot of books, not for the stories particularly, but for the world they create. I find fascinating.
The Andalite Chronicles, it tried so hard to be a thriller.
I enjoyed it a lot. I still do.
Why?
Because I feel like it adds a lot of Andalite culture and story and planets, and I liked it. I acknowledge that I'm in the minority of people who don't like this book. It is a very popular book amongst the fans. Because you are picky. Like, you don't like any movies. There's barely any movies you actually enjoy.
But take this into consideration. I love the Animorphs series, right?
Yeah.
And my average score for the series is something like something around 8. What's
Drink.
we're discussing while I'm drinking. I give the Animorphs series as a whole an average score that's quite high. The Andalite Chronicles falls below the average, which means for the series, I think the Andalite Chronicles is below average.
I liked it. Alright. I feel like it just added so much. When we're reading the series, we make up our own little fan fictions in our mind about how things might be, and it just fills in a lot of gaps, I feel.
Explain further.
Like how their ships are and how the home world is a bit and things like that. Just fills it in. And it's exciting to get little pieces added to the world. Even if the story's not the greatest.
I'm too drunk to think about it.
It's the world building going on pretty much in the series. It's exciting. Like, when I was reading the Hork-Bajir Chronicles, every new piece they were adding to that world kept exciting.
Well, the Hork-Bajir Chronicles is great.
I'm not talking about the story. I'm talking about the world in it. Like,
Right.
every little detail they added to it was exciting. Like, you know, all the fluorescent plants. I was like, that's cool. You know what I mean? The monsters down there. That's awesome. You know?
I don't want to drink anymore. I'm gonna. I don't want to. Else I'll be sick tonight.
You're gonna waste that. Is it not delicious?
It was reduced anyway.
I think he's drunk, guys.
I'm pretty drunk.
We broke
I'm not
him.
gonna lie.
We broke him.
You broke me. This Poparena episode, only because we introduced that new rule, which absolutely fucked me.
It was your idea.
Was it?
You picked what we saw.
I shouldn't have made it 2 fingers.
No.
I should have made it 1. Maybe then I'd still be going through this. But I've unleashed the madness.
We can always remake the video and do it tomorrow.
Why would I do that? That's deception. That's deception, my dear. I do this genuinely. And if you're offended by my genuine drinking, then I've got fucking words to say to you. And they rhyme with quat. And it...
Shush.
Twat. Fucking bollocks and
Stop
shit.
being
Right.
rude.
Genuinely, my camera is about to run out of power. So I will end this video here. I'll get through this. Thank you, Pebble, for joining me for the first time in one of these podcast reviews. Thank you all for watching, and I'm going to go
Get a glass of water.
get a glass
and
of water.
And some ibuprofen.
Yes. Thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you next time. Say bye.
Okay, bye.
Ta-ra!